We are in Parashat Dvarim. This is it. We are getting into the month of Av, the month of Leo. You know, this is what we're getting into. So we're going to talk about the portion of Dvarim from different aspects. We're going to take basically one idea of Parashat Dvarim and we're going to develop it according to the Ari, according to the Ben Ish Chai, according to Sfat Emet, according to Likutei Moharan. We're going to take different books, and based on that, we're going to make sure that it will be clear for everyone what is that we need to do, or maybe what is that we shouldn't be doing. So the Book of Dvarim, Dvarim, the word dibur means to talk. And according to the Arizal, according to the Zohar, there is a big difference between dibur and amira. When you use the word amira, le'emor, or vayomer, it's a little bit softer. Well, it's called in Kabbalah, it's called ze'er anpin. It's softer, it's more chasadim, more mercy. When a person uses the word dibur, it's more malchut, it's more strong, it's more demanding. So this old book, the 5 books of Moses, the whole name is Dvarim. The word is Dvarim, Diburim. And we need to understand something that the Arizal, Rabbi Isaac Luria, talk about. What is exactly a talk? What is a conversation? What is the sound that come out of our mouths? According to the Arizal, the sound is called kol. Kol Yaakov. The sound is the voice of Yaakov. That's why on Rosh Hashanah, we only blow a sound. There's no talk. Yes, we pray, we beg in the Creator for mercy and so on and so on. But at the end of the day, that's the sound of the shofar. And the sound can be sometimes tekiah, which is a long sound. It can be shvarim, which is divided to 3, or it could be teruah, which is divided to 9 or more. But what is dibur? When we talk about dibur, what is it? And we need to understand that according to Rabbi Isaac Luria, who explained it very well. I'm going to bring just a short idea of it, just the concept. We have 5 areas in our mouths where the sound comes from. Without going to all the details, but there is 5 areas. You can say the tongue, you can say the lips, and the Arizal divided to Bumav, Zasrach, if it comes from the lips. So it's divided where the letters of Hebrew come from. So we have 22 Hebrew letters. We have 5 final letters that we lost in Mount Sinai. Unfortunately, we did lost 5 letters. It's called Mantzapach. This is the 5 related to the 5 Motzaot HaPeh, to where the sound is coming from. So when there is just a sound, it's called Evel HaPeh. It's just a sound. There is no value. If I talk to you, it's just ah. Once I say I am, now I broke the sound into 2 pieces or more. So now we have words and then we have conversation. When we talk about Dvarim, this has already been cut. So when there is cutting into what we call the flow, the sound is a very important thing, because the sound is something that comes from above to below. And we need to create the below to above. The same like the eardrum, you hear something and then it reflects back. The eyes, you see everything the opposite, and then your brain is helping you to see what it is. Everything in life has 2 sides all the time. How is it seen from above to below? And how we deal with whatever happened from above to below. So in the Book of Dvarim, we're seeing that Moses, 40 days before he's dying, he make a conscious decision to tell Israel what's wrong with them. Basically, that's what he does. He's going to sit and tell Bnei Israel, he tell the Israelite, let me tell you what's wrong with you. Of course, the big question is why they waited that long. Until he told them. He's been with them for 40 years or more, and he's waiting now. But think about it. The true leader, when we talk about the real leader, a real leader is not thinking about, hey, what am I going to lose if I'm going to tell them something harsh? Or what I'm going to gain if I'm going to convince them to be better? So a real leader is always busy with one thing. How can I make it better for the one that I'm led? Because when you lead someone, you want to make sure they're making it. If you lead someone to make sure they follow you, that's not leadership. Leadership is to make sure that the person who follows you is going to make it. That's a true leader. That's a true teacher. That's a true person who inspires people. Moshe Rabbeinu did it exactly by the book. Very simple. I'm here to tell you what's wrong with you, not because it's bothering me anymore. He knew that he has 40 days to stay alive. That's it. He's going to be gone in 40 days. So now he's telling them the last speech. He want to make sure that they're going to make it without him. That's true love. When you tell a person what's wrong with them because it's going to benefit you, like let's say your husband is pouring a soup on the bowl and he's always missing the edges and it's spilled. And you're going to tell him, can't you be more organized? Can't do that because you benefit from it. So what we're going to do tonight, we're going to go through all that mitzvah, the mitzvah that called Ocheach Tochiach et Amitecha, how when you allow to criticize someone, because the mitzvah said Ocheach Tochiach et Amitecha, and the continuation of the mitzvah, it say, what does it say? Remember? Lo tisa alav chet. Very good. And don't have a crime on him. I mean, what does that mean? Lo tochiach et amitecha, must speak. But in the mitzvah, it say ocheach tochiach et amitecha. You should tell amitecha. You should tell your friend what's wrong with him. The Torah is telling you, you must do that. If your friend is doing something wrong, you have to go there and tell him. Masechet Brachot in the Talmud, it's written that kemo she'omrim davar nishma, we have to be preventing ourselves from saying davar lo nishma, translating into English. The same thing that you're supposed to say things that people will listen to you, the same way that you're supposed to prevent yourself from saying things that you know for sure the person will not listen to you. Let's see how we play with it. And I will start with the book by book. Again, I'm not going to read a lot, so don't worry about it. It's not going to be that long. I'm not going to keep you here forever. Just another reminder before we start is to understand there is 5 books of Moses, and every book is corresponding to a sephirah. In Kabbalah, there is something called sephirot. So, for example, Bereshit, Genesis, is corresponding to Keter. The next book, Shmot, is corresponding to Chokhmah. Vaikra, Binah, and the 4th books of Moses, what we just finished, it has to do with something called Zer Anpin. The last book is called Malchut. What is Malchut? Malchut means, if you translate it, it means kingdom. What do you do with Malchut? Malchut representing our desire, our personal desire. In our universe, we cannot act on what we want anymore. When you want something, you gotta wait. If you were Persian, by Persian tradition, whoever is Persian, they have something called, I think it's called turuf, something like that. What is turuf? Somebody I think I'm saying it correctly. Forgive me for my friend in LA. I'm practicing. So turuf is somebody offer you a cheesecake. You say no 3 times. You have to say no. You have to count 1, no, no, no. By the 4th time, you may say yes. It's called turuf. It's like polite. But in spirituality or in Kabbalah or in Judaism, it's not about polite. It has to be about spiritual thing. And that spiritual thing called or choser, returning light. Meaning, try to imagine that you are traveling into the space. It's dark. The only place where you're going to find light in space is a place that's been reflecting the light of the sun. If there is nothing to reflect the light of the sun, it will stay dark. So for us, it's not me, I'm just reading from the book and translating it, but from all the books of Kabbalah, they talk about a concept called Or Choser. You have to reveal Or Choser. Or Choser meaning reflection. How are you reflecting of who you are to society? Meaning you're smart, how does that reflect on society? You're rich, how does that reflect on society? You're athletic, how does that reflect on society? If all what you are reflect only on you, meaning you are the only one who benefit, it's called Or Yashar, direct light. That light, my friend, is dangerous. And for that reason, Tikkun HaZohar write that when a person go to Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and ask, give me soulmate, give me money, give me this, it sounds like dogs barking. That's why it's called the Tikkun HaZohar. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai write like this, Havli, parashāh, Havli. The word Hav, A and Bet, is like the dog bark, Hav, Hav, like the dog is barking. So we have to do Or Choser. What can I do with what I'm receiving? Let's say I saw 900 million on a lottery ticket. They asked Rabbi Kanievsky one time, can a spiritual person, can a Jewish person go and buy lottery tickets? The biggest rabbi. I told him, are we allowed by the Torah to buy lottery tickets? So he was thinking about it, saying, Once in your life, you're allowed to do that. Once in your life. Because we have to believe that if God want to give it to you, He already will give it to you. But if you want to play it one time in your life just to try, if the mazel is today, then the mazel is today. That's what He say. I'm not saying you should go by that halacha. It's something I just heard, so you don't have to go by that. But let's get into the depth of how do we do that mitzvah. I'm sure sometimes there is a friend who's misbehaving. I'm sure sometimes the wife, the girlfriend, the boyfriend, the partner, people misbehave. Do you tell them or you don't? So first, we have to go by the Talmud. If you know for sure they're not going to listen, you don't. You have to find a different way. We're going to read from the Zohar exactly how to do it. The Zohar tells you step by step how to approach a person once you want to tell them something. Because a lot of time, as Rabbi Ovadia Yosef, whoever familiar with him, okay, he writes that a lot of time the husband and the wife feel as if they own each other. Meaning, I bought you to be my wife, I bought you to be my husband, I can do whatever I want with you. You can't. It's not your property, by the way. It's not your property. Even your ba'ala. Ba'ala means I'm the owner. You can't do that. So you have to be very careful for how you speak to your spouse, to your wife, to your husband, to your children, to your neighbors, everything. I'm reading now from Sfat Emet. Those of you who don't know Sfat Emet, never have been in the grave. Absolutely, after the war will be over in Eastern Europe, or even now, if you have time, go to Warsaw, and about half an hour from the airport, that's a grave of Sfat Emet, one of the most powerful, for me, Hasidim or Kabbalists, I call them Kabbalists. And I'm going to read just a short thing that they say. ומשה רבנו עליו השלום, המשיך אור התורה שיוכלו להידבק בה אף שיהיו בגלות תחת כל אומה. Sfat Emet, they say, why did Moses 40 days before he died was busy to only tell the Israelite what is that they are doing wrong? It said because he knew that eventually the Israelite will have to go to the galut, to the exile. Why they have to go to the exile? What was the purpose? Very good. After the sin of Adam and Eve, a lot of spark of light fell down to different nations. And a Jewish person being in charge of that has to pick up all the spark, collect them, until what we call the Messiah will come, the Bet HaMikdash will be built, and so on and so on. So it say, in Midrash Tanchuma, I'm sure you heard of that, it say, Lo ish Dvarim anochi. Moses is complaining that I'm not a person that can talk. Why don't you choose another leader? And here, the whole parashah is called Devarim. It's first to show you, the simple thing, the simple idea is to show you that don't look at yourself on an area that you're not great. Those areas that you're not great at could be the area that you will be the best at. So take your worst area, even tonight. Take the worst thing about yourself. Did you know you are really not good at that? For me, I don't know how to iron clothes. I took training, very bad. Seriously, I went to a professional to learn. I have issue when I get to the sleeve, and then I do that. Once I do that, the sleeve go wrong. Once I do the sleeve, maybe because I grew up with 3 sisters, that was the issue. So I didn't get it. I know how to cook, but that's it. The thing, the iron. Every person has something they're not good at. But that's the area, maybe if I would hear this lecture years ago, I would open a dry cleaning, But every person that you look at the area where you're not the greatest, there is a light there. If you want to reveal it. So you write, it's a, כמו שנאמר בזוהר הקדוש, שהדיבור היה בגלות. He said, מה זה דברים? What is the book of דברים? הדיבור, the talk of Moses was in exile. That's why he said, לא איש דברים אנוכי. I can't talk. My talk is not available. It's not accessible. So, ואתה הואיל באר את התורה ב70 לשון, שהכניס אור התורה בכל הלשונות. So what is Sfat Emet is teaching us? That the reason Moses talked, he makes sure that the Torah will be spread to all the 70 nations through the 70 language. So everybody will talk about the Torah. The Torah will be a living thing that everybody can speak it, everybody can know it. For one day, it will be a Jewish person that arrived to Afghanistan, and he will understand the Torah in, is it called Afghani? There is a language called Afghani? In Afghanistan language. Now, still, we're not clear on Inyan Tochacha. How do we do that? So I'm bringing now something that became very famous in the last 20 years. Likutei Moharan became very famous long time ago, but for some reason, the last 20, 30 years, Breslev, everybody called themselves Breslev in Israel. they put a yarmulke, they put some music, and they dance in the street in the Breslev. So I had the privilege to meet some of the Rabbanim, and I had something to say. I have an issue, I'm Israeli, so I voiced my opinion. And I said, what's the story with the Breslev? Is it dancing in Uman, or there is a study? Because you guys have the best books. Do you study the books? So I said with the Rebbe, I said, I think you should study the books. This is more important than anything you have. This is unbelievable books you got. And we said that we have a great conversation. And he teach me a lesson. He teach me a great lesson, a wonderful man. And he told me, I'm looking at each person as a part of a puzzle. Some people dance. Some people read Torah and study it well. Some people maybe make other people happy. Every person is part of the puzzle. And for that reason, I want to read from this section. Tochacha. Those of you deciding today or this week, or at least till Rosh Hashanah, be careful not to do tochacha, not to criticize people. אף על פי שתוכחה הוא דבר גדול. Even תוכחה is a great thing. Say the Rabbi Nachman Breslov. ומוטל על כל אחד מישראל להוכיח את חברו. It's our duty to go to a person who do something wrong, to tell them what's wrong with them. כשרואה בו שאינו מתנהג כשורה. When a person not behaving right. הוכיח תוכיח את עמיתך. אף על פי כן, לאו כל אדם ראוי להוכיח. Not every person is capable to do so. It's an art to do it right. It's an art. כמו שאמר רבי עקיבא say in ערכין ט"ז עמוד ב', what רבי עקיבא said, תמה אני אם יש בדור הזה מי שיוכל להוכיח. רבי עקיבא 2000 years ago said, I wonder if there is one human being who can actually do תוכחה, can criticize another person in the right way. ואם רבי עקיבא אמר זו בדורו, זה רבי נחמן ברסלב said, if רבי עקיבא say 2000 years ago, כל שכן בדור הזה של עכשיו. Of course, in our generation, now his generation was about 250 years ago. So he's talking about then in Ukraine or Russia, we're in New York City, and I think we should understand the message. I think, for me, it's clear. What happened if the person who criticized should not be the one who's doing it? Listen carefully. Not only he doesn't help the person, אף גם הוא מבאיש ריח של הנשמות השומעים תוכחתו, כי על ידי תוכחתו הוא מעורר הריח רע של המעשים רעים ומידות רעות של האנשים שהוא מוכיחם. When a person starts to criticize another human being, not only is not helping them, they get worse. They get worse because basically is awakening the bad smell. Let's understand that bad smell. כי כמו שמונח איזה דבר שיש לו ריח שאינו טוב, it's like a garbage been sitting aside in a corner for a long time, כל זמן שאין מזיזים את אותו דבר, if you don't move that garbage, אין מרגישים הריח הרע, you don't feel it's a bad smell. אבל כשמתחילים להזיז את אותו דבר, once you start shaking it and move it, אזי מעוררים הריח הרע. Then we are awakening that bad smell. כמו כן, על ידי הוכחה של מי שאינו ראוי להוכיח, על ידי זה מזיזים ומעוררים הריח הרע של המעשים רעים ומידות רעות של האנשים שמוכם, ועל כן הוא מביא ערכם. And because of that, they get punished, they get more problem in their life, and it gets worse and worse and worse. ועל ידי זה הוא מחליש את הנשמות שלהם, in making their soul weak. ועל ידי זה נפסק השפע מכל העולמות. To telling what's wrong with a person, the shefa, all the nourishment coming from above to below, stop. התלויים באלו הנשמות. What is saying? התלויים באלו הנשמות. רבי נחמן מברסלב. התלויים. Meaning in each soul has a mission. And each soul is supposed to draw a certain amount of light. When you make that person feel bad, you are awakening the, I want to say, stink of whatever they did. And through that, we know that the soul, the only thing that the soul can enjoy ba'olam hazeh in this world is smell. That's it. One thing. The soul can enjoy one thing physical, is the smell. Because Adam and Eve never sin with the nose. They sin with every other organ, not the nose. For that reason, when you pray, the halachot, if you look at the laws of prayer, you cannot pray in a place where there is derech mevu'eshet, meaning a place where there is garbage or something. You have to go to another place where there is good smell. Good smell. In Morocco, they told me that they always have a good smell in the shul, in the synagogue. They have like special smell, I don't know the name, but they put it for the people to smell good and always to pray with a good smell. כי עיקר יניקת הנשמה הוא מהריח, כמו שאמרו רבותינו. מניין שבברכים על הריח שנאמר כל הנשמת אליה, איזה הוא דבר שהנשמה נהנית ממנו ולא הגוף. הווה אומר זה הריח, ועל כן על ידי זה המוכיח שהוא מביש רחם. So the smell is the most important thing. So with the person who criticized making the smell bad, על ידי זה נחלשת הנשמה. The soul become weakened. שהיא ניקתה מהריח כנ"ל. וממילא נפסק השפע מכל העולמות התלויים בהם. Then all the nourishment supposed to come from above to below because of them will not happen to all of us. So we got to be careful. We got to be careful. אבל שהמוכיח ראוי, if you are doing it in the right way, אז אדרבה, הוא מוסיף ונותח ריח טוב בנשמות. If you do it in the right way, the opposite. They become better, they become smell better, על ידי תוכחתו, כי התוכחה צריכה להיות בבחינת התוכחה של משה. Here, Rabbi Nachman Breslev said to us, if you're doing it like Moses, no problem. But Rabbi Akiva said, in my generation, I don't find anybody Raui. Rabbi Akiva said. And Rabbi Nachman said, only if you do it like Moshe Rabbeinu. שהוכיח את ישראל על מעשה העגל, על ידי תוכחתו נתן בהם ריח טוב. When the Bnei Israel, when the Jewish people did the golden calf, Moses, instead of crushing them and awakening more of all the bad thing they did, it's in Shir HaShirim, in songs of Shlomo HaMelech, King Solomon, Nerdi Natan Recho. Nerdi Natan Recho. Nerdi Natan, הנאמר על מעשה העגל. It says the smell been awakening. Moses was able to take a sinner, the person who did the worst thing ever, and turn it into something which is incredible. How do we get there? How do we get to a place that you actually have a conversation and you can do that? One of the suggests that Rab Nachman is saying in Pasuk Bet here, אך לבוא לזה, לבחינת כל, how do you get to a place that you can talk and it will be really not to hurt them, really to help? He say, הוא על ידי תפילה. You gotta pray, תפילה. You gotta pray. כי עיקר התפילה היא רחמים ותחנונים. You can't make תפילת תחנונים. Before you telling them, do you pray for them? Did you pray for them to change for 40 days? Did you fast for them without they knowing about it? Or you just want to be the one who tell them what's wrong with them? Hey, I'm going to tell you what's wrong with you because I can see that. I have two eyes. And I heard you saying the wrong thing. Did you pray about it? Did you went to go to the boss, to the master? Say, master of the world, I know the good people, but they're doing the wrong thing. Can you help me? Show me in the dream what to say, what to do. I don't know what to do. Oh, we're jumping on them. What's wrong? בעיקר הרחמים תלוי בדעת. This is a little bit Kabbalah. I'm not going to go into the depth of it. We know there is an organization called Chabad, Chokhmah, Binah, V'Da'at. So Da'at, the sphere of Da'at in Kabbalah was once Ze'er Anpin. Ze'er Anpin is Chasadim. So basically the whole system is going one level up and it becomes Da'at. Da'at also means knowledge. So a person has to have knowledge to be able to do it right. But it doesn't mean it like that. It means that you have to have Chasadim in your heart, mercy in your heart, that you will be able to awakening through your prayer, through your tefillah, the change they need to do. Now, details. How do we go about it? For this, we go into Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, in the Zohar, and in the Zohar in Parashat Kedoshim, Rabbi Shimon will tell you step by step how to do it, to the details. But listen carefully, it's very, very important that we will not take the Zohar in a way that we think we understand it. So slowly. Mitzvah zo o leochiach oto shechote. There is a mitzvah from the Torah, the Oraita. You're supposed to tell people when they do the wrong thing, what was wrong. ולהראות לו, האהבה רבה שאוהב אותו. Rabbi Shimon is saying the style. Look what it say. להראות לו, אהבה רבה שאוהב אותו. This is למחזי לי, רחימו סגי דרכים לי. You have to show love before you tell them what's wrong. You have to tell them that. No. First is love. You have to start with love. כדי שהמוכיח לא יענש. Because if you tell them something and they don't listen to you about what they did wrong, they might go to a rough life after that. You're awakening the bad smell. כי בקודש הבריך הוא כתוב את אשר יאהב יוכיח. כמו שהקדוש ברוך הוא עושה, הוא מוכיח למי שאוהב אותו, כך ילמוד האדם מדרכו זה. Rabbi Shimon said, you want to learn how to do it right? learn from God. You want to know who's the first teacher? God is our teacher. Whatever he does, you do. Very simple. Very simple. So let's learn from God. ויוכיח את חברו שאוהב אותו. You can only criticize a human being that you love. You have to ask yourself, do I love that person? No? Cannot criticize them. Never. Nothing. Because what's the purpose of criticizing them? To help them. But if you don't love them, how do you help them? You just enjoy the moment of telling them, hey, I will tell you what's wrong with you. הקדוש ברוך הוא במה מוכיח את האדם? הוא מוכיח לו באהבה. When Hashem, the creator, come to a person and he want to tell him what's wrong with him, it's done with love. בסתר. It's hiddenly. Nobody know about what happened. אם מקבל תוכחתו טוב, when the creator start with a person to change his life, he start with your toe is going to hit the corner of the bed, let's say. Does anybody know about it? You're going to put it on your Instagram. Hey, my toes just hit the corner of the bed. No, you're in pain. Now, if you're chacham and you believe that God doesn't do any mistake and every detail is from Hashem, it's everything. As it says, Shara Bitachon, Chelek Dalet from Chovat HaLevavot. I'm sure all of you know it. So, you know that you just say it's a wake-up call, so you have to stop. Or you walk in the street and a branch of a tree fall on your head. Or the birds happen to use you for, for what, right? I mean, all of that, it's a wake-up call. According to the Arizal, Nishar Gilgulim, all of it is a sign. All of it is a sign. But some of us need a little bit more. Some of us need the problem in the subway or Chaz Shalom, something more. So this is called Beseter. V'im lo mochech oto ben oavav. The creator starts like this. First, alone. Second level, among is people who love him. What is among his people love him? Somebody get something they're not comfortable about, and the people they love that they live with, they know about it. That's it. That's the only people they know. Still not comfortable because if he get it, he מקבל, טוב. If he accept it at that moment, טוב. ואם לא, הוא מוכיח אותו בגלוי לעיני כל. Then the third level, everybody will know what that person did or how wrong he is. אם מקבל טוב, fourth level now. If he accept it and he understand, I did something wrong, what's wrong with me? ואם לא, עוזב אותו. And if he doesn't accept that level, they don't tell him what's wrong with him anymore. עוזב אותו. The creator עוזב אותו. Can you imagine? He doesn't want to be with him. ואינו מוכיחו יותר. Doesn't tell him what's wrong with him. כי עוזבו שילך ויעשה כרצונו. He let the person to do whatever he wants. Sometimes a person try to change. I don't know. You're going through that. I don't know if it's a physical diet or it's a spiritual diet or something that you want to become better. And you get stuck. You don't change. And suddenly something happened. If you wake up from that, it's a great news. But let's see how it's continue. מפרש דבריו. מתחילה בודע בסדר להוכיח אותו לאורו כדי שלא ידע אדם. Now the Rabbi Shimon continue. Why is he doing it hiddenly? So nobody will know about it, not to embarrass the person. וזהו בינו לבינו. It's between God and you. אם מקבל תוכנות טובים לא מודיע אותו בנאהבה, בזמן שכהן גדול היה בעולם נותן עליו מחלה במיטתו. It's when the Kohen Gadol was here, when it was Bet HaMikdash, when it was a temple, when it was a high priest. So first, the person becomes sick. So the person becomes sick and he's going to his bed. ובאים אוהביו של הקדוש ברוך הוא מודיעים אותו. שאם יש בו עוון ישוב ממנו ויעיין במעשיו. In the old days, 2,000 years ago, a person got sick and the angels coming, talking to God, negotiate the deal. It's called malach מליץ עליו, like one angel. אם מקבל טוב, אם לא מוכיח אותו בגלוי, שמענישו בכספו, בבניו. If this is not enough, the sickness, then the money is the next thing. If the money didn't help, then the children is the next thing. שהכל מתלחשים אליו ובאים אליו לעורר בתשובה. All of those things are the messenger of God, love messenger. Not what people call punishing. It's not a punishment. It's a love. It's an invitation. Please, can you come to the wedding? There is a wedding. I'm tired. It's too cold outside. So I'm going to push you from the bed. When I was young, my father, the way he wake me up, used to take the blanket away. So I don't know, I'm sure your father used the same style. But my father had invented a new level. He used to take the blanket with him. Because when you take blanket, you can put it back. So my father basically took the blanket and basically get out of the room. And of course, there's nothing to dwell on. And that's why you got to go and look for it. So sometimes, unfortunately, a person has to fall down so low אם מקבל טוב, אם לא מתחיל אדונו לעשות רצונו, ואינו מתקיף אותו יותר. Then the person he said, go have a great life, I'm not going to bother you anymore. I mean, there is so many lessons in this Zohar. Some of us thinking like, why some people have a smooth life? Did you ever think about maybe they left them alone? I tell you, there is a proof to it. There is a story about Rabbi Eliezer HaGadol. His name is Rabbi Eliezer ben Orkulus. And his student was Rabbi Akiva. Okay? They were arriving to a town, and everybody saw Rabbi Eliezer HaGadol arrive in town and say, Geshem, we need rain. It's too long. We didn't have rain. The farmer. It's not like today, you find the food in the supermarket. In those days, you either have it or you don't. So Rabbi Eliezer make his pray, taking hours and hours, not even one cloud, nothing. So he said, Rabbi Akiva, I have to rest. Can you try instead of me? You know the kavanot, you know Kabbalah, you know how to do it. Please. Then Rabbi Akiva go there. He just opened his mouth and said the first pray, rain start coming down. All the anashim, all the people respect Rabbi Akiva, give him gift. Oh, you are the rabbi, can you stay here, please, and this and that. And you are much better than your teacher. Say, hey, wait, he said. And that's what he answered them. So I tell you a story. The king has two advisors. One advisor he loves, one advisor is not crazy about. The one advisor that he loves, when he come to ask for something little, say, king, can I have donuts for this weekend? The king say, hey, sit down, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about why you need the donuts, who need the donuts, and he keep him there for 48 hours. That's the one he loves. When the person who he doesn't like come to ask for something, say, king, I'm really feeling that I'm poor. Can I get 2 more home from you? I don't like the last home. The king say, give him what he wants. Just get him out of here. A lot of time we think when we get what we want is because we have a great relationship with the Creator. Not all the time. Sometimes it's true. ונתתי גשמיכם בעיתם. גשמיכם is גשמיותכם, meaning the גשמיות. אבל בעיתם, what is עת? What is עת? עיתם, what is the עת? The right time. If you're getting the money in the wrong time, big problem. עיתם. When you're ready, when you're able to handle it. So here it say, עוזב אותו. God is leaving that person. כאין זה צריך להוכיח את חברו. You want to know how to criticize your friend? You want to know how to tell them what's wrong? The same exact way. First you check, do I love him unconditional? Do I love him like I love my own body, my own soul? Yes? Good. Now go and hidden, nobody need to hear, and start talking to them. It's a very important, I had many teachers in my life, many rabbis that I met. I remember one of the rabbi Kabbalists that teach me about criticism when I was young, told me that I need to say something to that person is doing it incorrectly, and he was my friend. I didn't know how to tell him, and it was in Brooklyn, and he said to me, after you're going to tell them what you're going to say, to have to be a one verse, and then disappear from the physical area. Do not be there more than a minute. You be there more than a minute, so there is gava. There is already ego in that. And I remember I did that. I told them was sick, and I get out of there. And I never know what they were thinking, or they hate me, or they hurt me. Years later, many years later, we've been together in some bagel store or something that I don't remember. And the guy approached me, a wonderful family. And he told me, you don't remember when you were young, you told me something, and it really helped me, but you didn't stay even to listen. I said, I was worried, because my teacher at that time told me that if I stay, my gava, my ego will go up. So it's better not to stay, just to say and get out of there. The same thing, my friend, I hope the message is clear, how we need to do it, because the Zohar now repeat how to do it. הוכיח היינו בסתר, חבריו, אוהביו, remember, 4 levels. First, hiddenly, after you know you love them. Second, is in front of the people he love, or that love him. Third, is in front of everybody. That's only if you love him. And fourth, leave him alone. If you do it 3 times, it doesn't work, leave him alone. If God leave him alone and you don't, you think you're better than God. The same concept, and I'm sorry, it's like a little bit longer than what I thought. Same concept. I'm just going to be quick here from the Ben Ish Chai. We have to bring the Ben Ish Chai a little bit. Forgive me. In parashat Dvarim, יצא אשר דיבר משה אל כל ישראל ותיבת כל לשון יתר, אך בא הכתוב לדבר חוכמתו של משה רבנו. Ben Ishai is telling us what Moshe did exactly. How did he do it, right? He didn't talk specifically to a person, he spoke to everyone together. בתוכחות שעשה לישראל שנשבע שלא אביא החוטאים לידי ביוש. He makes sure that the sinner will not be embarrassed. דאמרו רבותינו זכרונם לברכה, כאן נרמז כמה מן החטאים שוכחה בהם ובמדבר, רצה לומר חטא שאמרו מי ייתן מותנו וכו' וכו'. So the idea of what the Ben Ishai is teaching us here, you can't make the person feel bad, you have to make the person feel motivated. If you, by the way, decided to tell a person what they need to do, you have to be ready with the solution too in your hand. You cannot tell them, this is what's wrong with you. They will ask you, what do I do? And you will say, I don't know. No, you can't do that. Can't do that. You have to say what to do. You see a person that can study Torah, and they don't. And you tell them, you should study, because you love them. You say, you should study Torah. You love them. They say, I'm not like this. I'm ADD, or I'm ADHD, or all the other things that exist. Okay? In the end of the day, he didn't give him a solution. So why are you telling them? If you tell him, can we study together? That's very nice. Yafe. My friend, moving to another subject, and I'm not going to keep you more than 20 minutes. Sorry. We are getting into the month of Av. We know tonight is Erev Rosh Chodesh Av. It's also the Ilula of Rashi, Rabbi Shlomo Yitzchaki. Those of you have candle at home, light the candle for Rabbi Shlomo Yitzchaki tonight. Very powerful. I mean, what can I say about Rashi that you didn't hear? Rabbi Shlomo Yitzchaki, they say in one point, he realized, I make the story really short, he realized that the money that he get it was from a diamond, from a stone that his father found in a fish. So he took on himself to go 1 year as poor person. So he's go from one place to another, and he was living south of France or Strasbourg, something like that, I think. That's the area. And it was cold there in the winter. So he's going from one place to another. And he went to one of the schools, the Bet Midrash. And he's sitting there shaking from the cold. And everybody, studied the Torah with their finger, like, what's the meaning of things? What is the meaning of that? So everybody say, what is Rashi meant by writing it? What does Rashi want? What does he really want? So Rashi freezing say, soup. Soup will be very helpful. What's it? It's a very cute thing that stay with me because sometimes it's simple. The truth, most of the time it's simple what people want. They don't want a lot. It's a bowl of soup, a little love, a little hug, a little motivation. Not a lot. Because we're living in an environment which is tough. I mean, not to compare to Israel, what's going on there right now. It's tough. We live in a tough environment. Tough environment. And that environment can wear you off. So it will be nice from time to time, once a week at least, before Shabbat is coming. Yes, it was good, good words. Now, I want to go into the month of Av to prepare you for what's coming. We know in the month of Av, I don't think I need to tell you, it's a month of Poranut. It's not an easy month. It's a month that the 9th of Av, the 9th day of Av, everything that can go wrong went wrong on that day, unfortunately. What happened at that day in the history? I mean, the first problem was when we came with a bad report. When we came with a bad report about Israel. I mean, what is the idea of the bad report? Our eyes couldn't see the potential of the goodness of Israel. We couldn't see. I'm not talking about the physical Israel. It's not the shawarma or the sabich. I'm talking about Israel. Li Rosh, the letter Li Rosh, meaning the head, the idea, the concept, what is there, the potential, the light. And because we couldn't see it, that eyes that see it, that's why the eyes is what control the month of Av, it's been taken away from us. The same time, in 9 of Av, as we know, it's in Midrashim, the Messiah will be born. Messiah will be born from a chamber called Kenat Tzipor. The same thing is a time that we are talking about, like we saw what's wrong. I mean, we are paying so much price for not being able to see the good in something. We are paying a price for that. Now ask yourself, is it you doing it a lot? When you go to a place, you first judge it and then find the good about it. When you see a beautiful white wall with a black dot in the middle? Do you see the black dot first or you see the wall? Ask yourself this question. You don't need the answer now. But ask yourself. Or those of you still dating, when you're going to go on a date, you're first counting what's wrong and then whatever stays right? Or you first see what's right and it's a little bit of bad? What type of person are you? You got to start asking yourself, because 9 of Av, the day that will be the day of holiday when Mashiach will come, it's a day of mourning. It's a day of the destruction of the temple. The Inquisition started in that time. The final solution. Everything that can go wrong. 2 temples been destroyed Tisha B'Av. One time because of Avodah Zarah, the worship. One time it's because Sinat Chinam. Kamsa bar Kamsa. So what do? We have in this month, and it's not the easy task, my friend, to find what's good about what's wrong. To make a list of what's wrong in your life, actually. Find them. Find what is wrong in my life right now. What is it not working? Can I see the blessing in it? I can't? Then you didn't take advantage of this amazing month. Rabbi Naftali Birovshitz, I'll make it short. The Rovshitzer Rebbe, I don't know if you heard about him, he wrote the book Zera Kodesh, a great cemetery in Poland you should go visit too. Amazing. Rovshitzer, one of my favorite tzaddikim of all time. And he writes that the name of this month is called Av, A-V. Av means Abba. Abba. In this month, if you want to make it, it's almost like when you were a kid and you don't know what to do and you go and you bring your father with you, and you bring your father with you. And because in this month there is 2 sides. The way to make it is understand there is a father that come with you to everything, but also to remember that there is Rahmanut. There is mercy of the father. So ask the Rovshitzer, he asked, how can this be Rahmanut if 2 temples be destroyed, so many Jewish people were murdered and bloodshed and so on? How can it be mercy? And said, look at it like that. And the Arizal, Rabbi Isaac Luria, doesn't call Tisha B'Av Yom Shel Avlut. You want to know how he call it? He call it Chag. How can the Arizal call Tisha B'Av holiday? And that's what he write. He doesn't call it holiday. He says it's holiday from afternoon, from 1:30, meaning from the night till 1:30 is Yom Evel. From 1:30, exactly when the temple been destroyed, Yom Shel Chag. So how do you talk like this? And he explained it by the Nekudot, how you need to do the prayer of Mincha, with Segol, not with Shva. There's a lot of kavanot in this, but I'm not going into the depth of it. And he explained the temple was destroyed instead of the whole nation of Israel supposed to be destroyed. God make a deal. He said, okay, judgment has to happen. Ani Hashem shel emet. I'm a God of truth. Something need to happen. He said, I rather my home will destroy, the wood and the stone, but don't destroy this nation. So for that reason, say the Arizal, this is a month of Rachamim. This is a month of mercy. That's why people who are born in this month, whoever born in the month of Av, always the Rachmanim. Whoever born in Leo, if you meet a Leo, you're dating a Leo, Rachmanim. B'teva shalem. They cannot help it. They're Rachmanim. They can get angry if you don't respect them. But by nature, they are merciful. They need just to be recognized. You have to tell you're amazing. Give them something, but then the rest will be okay. If you forget to say they're amazing, you're going to have a problem. If you're dating somebody Leo, you always start with the good word. Oh, you're amazing about something. That's a Leo. They need that a little bit. My son is a Leo, is the one downstairs. Yeah, I'm learning it in the hard way. I'm not always doing a good job there. So, what do we need to do in this month and how we need to meditate? I'm going to end up with meditation in a second. And we give you letters, right? We give you, everybody has it? Everybody has the letters, right? Just pass it around and scan it. It will appear on your phone. But before we go in there, I want to tell you that this month has 2 days that you need to remember. Rosh Chodesh, of course. That will be Wednesday. That's the beginning of the month and beginning of the 9 days. We don't eat meat, no wine. The reason we don't do that is en simcha ela bebasar vayain. There's no happiness, only with basar vayain. And there is no happiness in those 9 days. That's first. The people who want to do machmir, you continue to the 10 days till noon. Because the temple was continued to be burned till the day after, until Yud Be'av. Now, there's another day that's happening in the month of Av. It's a holiday too. It's called Tu B'Av. Very good. It's a Jewish love day. Now, of course, the Bnei Yissaschar, you should always read this book, Bnei Yissaschar, Rabbi Elimelech Midinov, Tzvi Elimelech Midinov. So you say, what's so special about Tu B'Av? So he says, Shamati b'Harav HaKadosh Rabbi Pinchas Mikaretz. אוקיי? דאמרו ז"ל בט' באב נולד בן דוד. אתה אמור להיות נשמת משיח בן דוד, נשמע יותר גבוה וכוללת. First he start this month as the Mashiach been born in this time, because in this 9 of Av, what is the neshama of Mashiach? I'm going to do the best I can to explain it to you. If you can understand it, good. If not, I took a risk. So in everything, remember in the beginning I told you there is Or Yashar ve'Or Chozer, direct light and returning light. Now try to imagine the returning light is like a trampoline. It's something that you jump on and it's reflect you back. Now, if you don't know how to do it, so you jump from the trampoline not that high. So try to imagine there is 5 floors, okay? And you need to go all the way to the top. You're not going to go all the way to the top because you don't know how to deal with all your selfish agenda. We all have selfish agenda that we cannot push away. Mashiach means that we are dealing with all the selfish ego maniac agenda and we are able to transform them into a good things. We can do it on our own. This light, those of you familiar a little bit with Hasidut, called Yechida, light of Yechida, that specific light cannot be revealed by human being. It has to be wait for the right person called the Messiah. Now, whoever is waiting for that Messiah to appear all the time, remember Mashiach is the same letter as Nachash, the same gematria, snake. So you're waiting for a snake to save you. You can't do it like that. You have to awake something within you that seems impossible to change and believe that it's changeable. That's a spark that you add another piece into that Mashiach. I cannot go to details, forgive me, but I hope you hear some of my other lecture on that subject. It's online and you can find it there. Tu B'Av, it say, לא היו ימים טובים לישראל כ15 באב וכיום הכיפורים. It was not a better day to the Israelite than 15 of the day of Av and Yom Kippur. What's the קשר? What's the connection? שהיו יוצאות בנות ישראל בכרמים, they used to, the girls used to go to the vineyard, and they dress with white clothes that they borrow. Those codes are interesting. They borrow the white clothes. It's not theirs. They go in a vineyard. There is a lot of code. But without going into details because of time issue, to understand that the white clothes represent mercy, chasadim. The vineyard representing gvurot. Okay? She'ulim meaning you borrow. What does that mean? So the Admor of Brandwein, the Admor of Stratton, right? One of his letters, he writes like this. Sometimes you need to borrow your potential from the future. Do you hear that? Sometimes you need to borrow the perfect self of yourself from the future. So if in the future, in next lifetime, you're a tzaddik, you're the head of the generation. Next lifetime, you can borrow a little bit of that light into the now and use it as if you are okay. Because sometimes when you are down, when you're depressed, when you are 9 of Av, it's funny, I'm Libyan, in the Libyan tradition, when somebody is sad, they used to tell him, T'shah B'Av, you know, why your face look like T'shah B'Av, you know, why you looking like that? So you can change the T'shah B'Av face into Tu B'Av, into happiness moment. This is how you can do it. But how? By borrowing your future self, the Betukan, the perfection. That's what Tu B'Av is about. That's why it's like Yom Kippurim. What do you do in Yom Kippurim? In Yom Kippurim, you are able to control all your desire. No food, no water, no sexuality, no perfume, no neilat sandal, no shoes, and v'chule v'chule. All the 5 inuim. And through that, you're able to get light, which is the highest light of the year. You get it at that peak called Ne'ilah. Why? Because if you're capable to let go of everything you desire, or that ego thing, then you have room for that light to come. The same thing. Tu B'Av, the same thing, Tisha B'Av. This month has within it all the secret of whatever you need. But we got to behave. No tochachot. We're not going to start chasing people that their shirt is too big or the thing. Every little details, every little thing to be careful. I know that I'm doing that mistake a lot. Okay, I'm very open for criticism. If you ever see me doing something, I'm very open for that. Okay, really open. Send it to me, text it to me all the time. I will be very happy to hear from you because I think it's good for my soul. So I'm not consider you hurting me if you're telling me. It's my choice after this to do it or not, but I will definitely listen. So it say, עתיד הקדוש ברוך הוא לעשות מחול לצדיקים, עניין המחול ההולך במחול הולך סביב סביב בהיקף, ואין שם מעלה ומטה ראש וסוף. It say that in the end of time when Mashiach will come, we will dance. We'll dance in a circle. It's called מחול. מחול is dancing, but מחול also is מחילת עוונות. Same like Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur, all of our sin been erased, and to B'Av, all the negativity go away. Many things happened to the Israelite in the desert in Tu B'Av. They allowed people to get married from different tribes. Pasku mete midbar, meaning people stopped dying in the desert. A lot of great things happened at that time. There is an opportunity in Tu B'Av. Hopefully we will do something here. Maybe we're going to meet and do some meditation to connect to our soulmate. Not just a soulmate, how she's going to look like, or how he's going to look like, or who they are. And I'm talking about you have a part of your soul. Those of you study reincarnation a little bit. You have nefesh, ruach, neshama. You have different people who connect to your soul. There's not one soulmate. It doesn't mean you can cheat. It means that nefesh, ruach, neshama. There is a person who connects to your nefesh, to your action. There's a person who connects to your ruach, to your conversation. There's a person who connects to your neshama, to your machshavot. You know, you have to know what you're going for when you're getting married. Sometimes you get married with your nefesh soulmate. Sometimes with the ruach soulmate. Sometimes they're neshama soulmate. Sometimes they're not your soulmate. Sometimes they're not your soulmate. Women who come from reincarnation from Hur, the son of Miriam, okay, unfortunately this lifetime will not find their soulmate because their soulmate died and is being still captured by the klipot. So you can't find them. So sometimes you have, when people come to me to talk about soulmate and all this and that, I said, first fall in love, then we talk about soulmate. You know, if you're able to practice love the neighbor as thyself with your partner, you did great. If you're not able to do that, I don't care if they're soulmate or not soulmate. I never heard somebody who said to me, I find my soulmate and she or he look terrible, but I know they're my soulmate. I never heard it. Love from the first sight, usually it's about the look. It's never about the connection. You know, people say, I feel a connection. So I usually tell a joke. I say, you must find the ugly one, right? It was a great connection. No, actually, she or he is gorgeous. No, so how do you know it's a soulmate? You go after this. Anyway, to get connected to these months, Bnei Yissaschar brought it from Avraham Avinu, from the book called Book of Yetzirah. In the Book of Yetzirah, they write that there is letters that corresponding to every month. The letter that control the months of Leo, the months of Av, the months of Aryeh, is the letter called Kaf and Tet. The letter Tet, I don't know if you know, it looking in, like Tisha B'Av. The letter Tet look in. The letter Kaf is come from the Keter. Who is Keter? Who is the one who's going to have the crown? According to the Mekubalim, according to Sefer Yetzirah, is the one who's capable to look inside. If he can look inside like a Tet, he cannot look inside like the letter Tet, right? Whoop, look at me. And who do we learn it from? From the Baal Shem Tov of Kodesh Kodashim. What is the Baal Shem Tov teaching us? It says that if you look at a person and they do something wrong, you can look inside. Baal Shem Tov was never into tochachot, to tell people what's wrong with them. It was against it. It was against the idea that I will tell you what's wrong with you. He said, if you see somebody doing something wrong, Baruch Hashem, you're so lucky. You know why you're so lucky? Hashem sent you a person to do mistake specially for you. So you will know. Because he explained about Hashem Tov Kadosh that the eyes cannot look inside. The eyes can only out. So what Hashem is doing, bring a person, a thief in front of you. Somebody who's gossiping in front of you. Somebody who steals, somebody who misbehaves, so you can wake up and say, I'm doing exactly the same. And Baruch Hashem sent me that. Not say, he's doing wrong, now let me tell him what's wrong with them. Baruch Hashem, every person is going to get it. That's a kaf and tet. There is also avaya. Every month, the Yud Kevavke change. You should do it also in the tefillah, in the morning tefillah, in Musaf. See me, and I can show you when to do it. So, in the pray, there is different Yud Kevavke every month. Like Nisan is Yud Kevavke regular. Tetragrammaton, regular. In ER is, let's say, Yud K K Vav. In this month, it's called Asket Ushma Israel Ayom. So you see it start Asket Ushma, meaning A Vav, Yud Hey. You see that the two Hey are to the distance. So the meditation you have to do all months is K, Asket Ushma, A Vav, Yud and Hey. You look at the Yud K Vav K not in the regular order. Please remember that. Like last month we did V'kol ze eneno shove li. So it was Yud K Vav K reverse, right? So it was K Vav K Yud. Is it clear? Because you're making the eyes like you don't understand me. Please ask. It's very important. Because the whole month you have to think that way. The frequency, let's call it frequency, maybe it will be more clear in the modern language. The frequency, how you connect the thing, change every month. You cannot connect it the same way. There is 12 Yud Ke Vav Ke, 12 Tetragrammaton. Avraham Avinu brought to us exactly how to do it, but more specific, if you really want to read and understand, Bnei Yissaschar. In the book Bnei Yissaschar, he explained exactly how to do it. It's very powerful. Don't forget it. Kaf and Tet, those are the letter of the months, and K Vav, Asket Ushma, A Vav, Yud and Hey, that's the meditation for that. Okay, you ready to go for a short meditation with me? So the meditation basically has to do a lot with how you breathe. Okay, it's called Idbonenut. Without going to 1,000 details, the upper body, what we call the heart and the lungs, it's called Chagat. It's that place, the chest, it's called Chagat. This is called Nahi. It's called Nahi, Netzach Od Yesod. So basically there is two styles of breathing. Don't be too hard on yourself, but you can breathe in and you can breathe here, but depends on how level. So don't stress yourself up too much. Oh my God, I'm doing it to my chest. What's wrong with me? The most important thing is that you sit comfortable, and you want to make sure that your legs and arm are not touching each other, not to close the circle, because this is chesed, this is gvura, it sit on netzach and hod, and this is one thing. So the breathing itself is called avir. Avir in Kabbalah has this letter O, light in it. So you basically, when you breathe in, you are actually breathing light. And if there is darkness from today, maybe you went to some rough day, you let the darkness out. We're going to focus to do it about 10 times. And then we're going to go into the letter. Those of you who can imagine the letter would be wonderful. Those of you who cannot, according to Sefer, everything is okay. Don't rush yourself to see things. Okay? So one of the things that will help you is to look at an object without moving the chin up. The chin stays this way, but you're looking at the object about 30 degree, 40 degree up with your eyes. And after you look at that object, you close your eyes. And you feel like tingling in your eyes. Keep your eyes as if it look up. And slowly start focus on the breathing. You want to inhale. Hold it a little bit. And then exhale. Wonderful. Keep breathing. Okay? 10 times, count 10 times, and make sure that you can feel that your body gets relaxed, as if your body becomes so heavy on the chair. There is no reason to move, no reason to shake anything, just the way it is. Just let the body sit on the chair as if it becomes such a heavy rock that doesn't want to move. Focus on your breathing. Every time that you breathe, try to hold it a little bit longer, but don't stress yourself. Just a little bit. And then exhale, and then hold it again before you inhale, a little bit longer. So you will control the breathing, and the breathing will not control you. After you finish 10, let the body relax. If you're capable to see yourself from above, good. If you're not a problem. Try to see yourself standing in front of the wall in Jerusalem, Kotel HaMa'aravi, the Western Wall, a place that's being destroyed because of lack of human dignity and love. I want you to be able to see the letter Kaf and Tet, as Avraham Avinu teaching us that those are the two letters that control the months of Av, Menachem Av, Kaf and Tet. See those two letters. You can see them in gold if you can. If you cannot, light blue. If you cannot, white. Any color, either white, light blue, or gold. Make sure when you feel the letter start shining, invite a person to the wall in your mind that they either hurt you or you hurt them. One person only, please. Somebody you hurt or they hurt you. Invite them to the wall. While you're looking at the two letters, invite them to the wall. Now, above the letter Kaf and Tet, while that person arriving next to you, is standing next to you, they're looking at the wall, they're looking at the letter Kaf and Tet. You maybe not feel comfortable with them because whatever happened between two of you. But remember, if hatred for no reason creates destruction, then love for no reason will build everything back. I want you to see the letters of the Tetragrammaton in the order of the months of Av, A, Vav, Yud, and A. As these four letters is going in circle above your two heads to bring unity between two of you, to bring love and harmony, to bring forgiveness, Slicha and Mechila. Make sure that you feel that your soul gets clean for whatever left over of this relationship from the past. Feel the love they have for you. Express your love for them. Otherwise, they will never hurt you if you not love them. That's when you have true love to them. Feel that by the unity you two will have with one another, you're adding another brick to the temple in Jerusalem. You can see their face, thank them, see how they're thanking you. And slowly, I want you to see yourself above your body here. Slowly, I want you to feel your leg, your hand. Inhale and exhale slowly, 3 times. Then open your eyes, slowly. By the way, it might happen that they will text you, that individual, or email you. Things like this happen because and this was very short. If you can do it again at your house for about 25 minutes, it's very powerful. Because in the end of the day, is how we can find a way to get along with one another, which is the toughest things to do. We're very good with God, at least we think so. But when it's come to people, sometimes it's not always working. All right. Thank you so much for coming and happy Rosh Chodesh.